China's stern warning on the global stage: don't let Lebanon become the next Gaza. On April 2, 2026, a moment unfolded on the global stage that could reshape the political landscape of the Middle East. China issued a direct and stern warning to Israel, making it clear that Lebanon must not be allowed to descend into the same devastating scenario as Gaza. This was no ordinary statement or routine diplomatic response. It was a powerful, unmistakable message from a major world power. If Israel continued its military operations, the situation in the region could spiral into unpredictable and dangerous territory. The Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs emphasized that attacks on civilians and non-military areas must cease immediately. This was not merely political rhetoric. It reflected humanitarian concern, a commitment to global peace, and a sense of moral responsibility. The world recognized that a country traditionally cautious about direct involvement in Middle Eastern affairs was now asserting itself boldly and unequivocally. It was a moment where global power, responsibility, and human welfare converged. Tensions between Israel and Hezbollah along the border were escalating day by day. These were not just border skirmishes, they represented a persistent threat with the potential to erupt into a full-scale conflict at any moment. Had the fighting escalated into a broader war, Lebanon could have faced a catastrophic situation similar to Gaza, where civilian lives are upended and essential infrastructure is devastated, permanently destabilizing safety and security. Al Jazeera and other international reports highlighted that the crisis was not confined to Israel and Lebanon alone. Other parts of the Middle East could be drawn into the conflict, with far-reaching consequences for global politics, economic ties, and human security. The United Nations also acknowledged that ongoing border clashes could be a precursor to a larger war. The message was clear: immediate, tangible action was required from the international community, not just expressions of concern. China's stance reflects a new strategic approach. The statement was not only a gesture of concern or criticism, it was a firm message to Israel that there are limits to military action, and crossing those limits could trigger serious international consequences. It also signals that China seeks to strengthen its presence in the Middle East, not just economically or commercially, but politically and in terms of humanitarian engagement as well. In global politics, the statements and actions of major powers are never limited to diplomatic language alone. When a country like China issues such a strong warning, the impact is immediate and far-reaching. Financial markets, political alliances, and neighboring countries all feel the ripple effects. Human life and fundamental rights become central, as civilians often bear the greatest burden during conflicts and escalations. This warning also raises a practical and ethical question: is this merely an attempt to exert pressure, or is China preparing to take concrete, decisive action if necessary? Analysts and global observers are closely watching whether China will adopt a policy of intervention to de-escalate tensions, or if this is primarily a demonstration of political strength. This moment serves as a powerful reminder that human life, moral responsibility, and the strategic calculations of powerful nations are deeply intertwined in global affairs. Every action, every statement, every warning does not just affect the present situation, it can shape the future of politics, peace, and human well-being for years to come. Considering Israel's actions, Lebanon's situation, and the responses of global powers, it becomes clear that combining humanitarian concern with strategic diplomacy can produce a transformative impact in international relations. This is a moment where the world's attention shifts from narrow political interests to human welfare, peace, and regional stability. China's warning reminds us that the presence and actions of global powers extend far beyond displays of force. They have profound implications for human life, regional security, and global stability. This statement represents a moment where international politics, ethical responsibility, and concern for human welfare intersect, forcing the world to recognize that protecting human life must always be a top priority in the maneuvers of powerful nations. The fact that China issued a direct warning to Israel not only has the potential to alter conditions in the region, but could also have long-lasting effects globally. Understanding the complexity of each clash, border conflict, and military maneuver highlights the need for wisdom and ethical foresight in global politics. China's position, therefore, is not just a statement, it is a powerful and influential message balancing human welfare, global peace, and strategic political calculation. This moment teaches us that the responsibility of powerful nations is never limited to their own interests. It is also tied to upholding human rights, maintaining regional stability, and fostering global peace. China's warning is both a practical and ethical lesson for governments, international organizations, and advocates of human welfare worldwide. True power comes with moral responsibility. China's clear warning, alongside the complex dynamics with Israel, marks a new turning point in global politics, where every statement, decision, and action is inseparably linked to human life, global peace, and regional stability. April 2, 2026 will be remembered as a landmark day in international affairs, where humanitarian concern, moral responsibility, and strategic diplomacy stood united.